Imagine a fortune so enormous and overwhelming that it would bring tears to a family's eyes. Not happy tears, but something much more intricate. The TV tycoon Simon Cowell, who is renowned for his witty remarks and even more astute business acumen, has amassed a fortune in the hundreds of millions. But what if there is a secret to this extraordinary wealth? A choice regarding its future that can cause his loved ones to suffer heartbreak. The enormity of Simon Cowell's triumph is where we start our story. He has an incredible net worth of $600 million as of 2025. His work as a judge and producer on popular series like Pop Idol, American Idol, The X Factor, and the Got Talent shows has given him this enormous wealth. He also became quite wealthy by signing and marketing musicians like Little Mix. Little Mix. However, Simon's path to this wealth was not always easy. He nearly lost everything once before the private planes and expensive automobiles. He attempted to succeed in the music industry in the early 1980s, initially with E&S Music, and later with Fanfare Music. In 1986, he even collaborated with vocalist Sunita on a successful single. However, his business failed in 1989, and he came dangerously close to bankruptcy. He owed the bank nearly £500,000, which at the time was a substantial sum of money. To pay off his debts, he even had his expensive Porsche seized. He was compelled to return home with his parents because he had nowhere else to go. It was more than simply a setback during this time of severe financial difficulties when he lost nearly all he had worked so hard to build. Now, Simon, however, is a warrior. He recovered by collaborating with the large music label BMG. He established his own records under BMG as an assistant who discovers new talent. As a result, he recruited Robson and Jerome, two TV actors who recorded a song titled Unchained Melody. This song sold millions of copies and shot to the top of the UK charts, where it remained for 7 weeks. Simon said that Robson and Jerome made him his first $1 million, selling a combined 7 million albums and 5 million singles. He collaborated with Westlife and Five, among other well-known bands. However, how did someone who owing £500,000 end up with hundreds of millions of pounds? His keen sense of talent and his much more astute financial acumen in the television industry hold the key to the solution. After competing on Pop Idol in the UK in 2001 and American Idol in the US in 2002, Simon Cowell rose to fame. He became well known for his incisive, candid, and frequently direct remarks, even though they occasionally offended others. He began by earning $8 million a season as an American Idol contestant. However, he became well known very fast, and by 2005, his compensation had risen to an estimated $36 million a season. Later on, he was even given an incredible $45 million a season, but he decided to quit the show. He took home at least $24 million overall on American Idol. Simon, however, wasn't satisfied with his role as a judge. Under his own business psycho, he produced his own program, The X Factor, in 2004. America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent are part of the Got Talent franchise, which he also started. He grew much wealthier as a result of these shows' global success. He reportedly made up to $75 million on The X Factor in 2012 and 2013 for The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent. According to UK media, he earned approximately £6 million, or £6 million, or £6.8 million every season, in addition to his earnings as a producer. Forbes magazine reported that his yearly income ranged from $95 million in 2013 to $51 million in 2020. His company, Psycho Entertainment, had an interesting commercial path as a result of the success of his shows. A significant portion of Simon's fortune came from his business, Psycho Entertainment. This vehicle, which costs at least $500,000, is renowned for its quiet and comfortable ride. In addition, he owns a vintage Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 3 and a $300,000 Rolls-Royce Ghost. With multiple Ferraris in his collection, Simon's passion for Italian speed is clear. Among these is a Ferrari California, which costs approximately £140,000 to $170,000. In addition, he owns a Ferrari F430 and 360. Another is the Ferrari 458 Italia, which retails for about $300,000. Furguda. His collection also includes a number of Bentleys, which are renowned for their ability to combine performance and luxury. A Bentley Continental GT and a Bentley Continental Convertible, which retail for about $225,000 new, are included in this. He owns a Bentley Azure as well. So Bentley Azure as well. In addition to these, Simon owns a number of Jaguars, ranging from vintage beauties to contemporary beasts. Among them are the vintage Jaguar X Co-120, the roughly $70,000 Jaguar F-Type Coupe, and the Jaguar E-Type Series 2. The Jaguar Eagle Speedster, one of his most costly vintage vehicles, can sell for more than $2 million at auction. He even owns a current Tesla Model S, estimated to be worth $100,000, and a powerful Lamborghini Urus, which costs about $200,000. He even has an Aston Martin DB7 and a little, useful smart Fort Woo, which is his most economical vehicle at about $20,000. In contrast to his public persona as a tough businessman who is solely concerned with his job, this aspect of his life reveals a side of Simon that enjoys luxury, speed, and high craftsmanship for his personal enjoyment. The decision that might make his family cry is the section of the story that really leaves you wondering. Simon Cowell has made a startling declaration on who will inherit his enormous $600 million fortune. He has made it clear that his son Eric will not be given any of his money. Simon's strong conviction on riches is the source of this startling statement. According to his statements, he intends to donate his money to charities, most likely helping children and dogs. "I don't believe in that passing on from one generation to another," he told Esquire magazine, adding that a person's genuine legacy should be about sharing knowledge and providing opportunities for others, rather than just leaving a money. Simon is an ardent supporter of numerous charities, and he wants his fortune to benefit not only his family, but also people in real need. He is a patron of Together for Short Lives and the vice president of Shooting Star Children's Hospices. Sir. In addition, he supports animal organizations like Batisi Dogs Home, RSPCA, and Peter, as well as the Katie Piper Foundation, which aids burn victims. He has assisted in raising funds for the victims of the 2010 Haiti earthquake and serves as an ambassador for the renowned Children's Hospital Great Ormond Street Hospital. In addition, he backs organizations like Help for Heroes and Hope Sanctuary, Barbados. It's important to note that Simon Cowell, the creator of the Wildlife Aid Foundation, started a Simon's Last Wish appeal after receiving a terminal lung cancer diagnosis. It illustrates the broad influence of charity giving, but this is a different Simon Cowell, not the music mogul. Given that Simon has talked about how having Eric as a son in 2014 transformed his life, this decision is very intriguing. He claimed that although he never imagined being a father, something changed after it did. And I developed an entirely new perspective on life. He even said that he became genuinely fixated upon seeing Eric's scan for the first time. He now considers Eric when making decisions. Lawrence Silverman, his partner, said that after becoming a father, he came to the realization that life is so much more than just raising a family. He asked, "What's the point of having all this if you don't have somebody you want to share it with?" There is a compelling conundrum here. Prior to Eric's birth, Simon made it known that he would donate his money to charity since he firmly believed in helping others and achieving success on one's own. However, he talked about a significant change in his priorities and emotions after Eric entered his life. The title raises the lingering issue of whether his heart, softened by fatherhood, is the source of the possible tears, has caused him to revise his will, or whether his long-held beliefs regarding inherited wealth will ultimately prevail, and Eric won't receive a direct inheritance from his enormous fortune. This results in an emotional strain that looms over his financial future. The laws governing inheritance tax in the UK, where Simon possesses numerous assets, adds still another level of complexity to this intricate situation. The tax rate on anything over a specific level can reach 40% for exceptionally substantial fortunes. If 10% of the estate's worth is donated to charity, this rate can be lowered to 36%. Another way to lower the tax cost is to use legal formations known as trusts. Although Simon primarily bases his bequest plans on his personal beliefs, anyone with a sizable fortune should take into account the tax advantages of charitable giving. Even Simon Cowell, who is a prominent character, has to deal with difficult situations and public drama. His life has been shaped by these personal struggles in unexpected ways. After fainting in 2017, he experienced a terrifying fall down the stairs at his London residence. Later, doctors determined that low blood pressure was the cause. He promised to look after himself better for Eric's sake, calling it a great shock and a lesson that he's not indestructible. In addition, Simon has experienced 2 severe collisions with electric motorcycles, powerful ones, to be exact. He fell off a new electric motorcycle he was testing at his Malibu home in August 2020, breaking his back. A metal rod was inserted into his back to correct it after 6 hours of surgery. The accident even caused long-term damage to his nerves. He claimed that the accident had a purpose since it had shown him how unfit he was and allowed him to recuperate during the lockdown. He still adores his bikes in spite of this traumatic event. In 2022, he experienced another severe e-bike accident. Simon was probably forced to consider his own life and what really mattered as a result of these health scares, particularly the fainting spell and the severe back injury. He likely looked within as a result of the physical discomfort and protracted recuperation times, which either strengthened his pre-existing convictions about his legacy or, conversely, strengthened his closeness with Eric and caused him to reconsider his ambitions for his inheritance. These potentially fatal incidents might have had a profound impact on his personal beliefs and, consequently, how he handled his fortune and family, which would have further complicated the enigma surrounding his inheritance. As a judge, Simon was well known for his direct and frequently scathing remarks. He was frequently referred to be the antagonist of American Idol, a job he performed effectively, but he was also noted for saying things like, "I don't mean to be rude." He made fun of the contestants' weight, referred to them as bush babies, or dubbed them the world's worst singer. He notably admitted that he was not a singer or dancer to a competitor named William Hung. His publicist Max Clifford helped shape this aggressive persona, which was intended to generate drama and boost TV ratings. Behind the scenes, the concerts themselves were embroiled in numerous scandals. Stage moments, including sob stories, were allegedly overdone in an attempt to elicit strong feelings from the audience. Sponsors also experienced problems with product placement, as some goods, such as hotels or Nokia phones, were blatantly displayed too frequently. Several competitors felt misrepresented or exploited on television. One X Factor UK candidate, for instance, said that producers pushed him to come out as gay on stage before he was ready and even promoted uncomfortable scenarios to elicit stronger emotional reactions. The drama was heightened by Simon's private life, which also garnered media attention. It was revealed in 2013 that Lawrence Silverman, the wife of his friend, was expecting his child. Simon was named in the court documents when her spouse filed for divorce. Later, they reached an out-of-court settlement, and on Valentine's Day of 2014, their son Eric was born. Simon Cowell became one of the most influential people in industry after starting an empire from the ground up and going bankrupt. He is extremely wealthy. His cars are the stuff of dreams, and his homes are opulent. He has struggled personally with everything from public scandals to health worries, while creating a worldwide brand. However, it's still unclear if his family will actually be moved by this enormous riches. Not out of sorrow, but because of a startling choice on its future. The final fate of Simon's wealth is complicated by his long-held beliefs about inheritance, his strong dedication to charity, and the significant influence of fatherhood. His financial legacy's last chapter has not yet been written, so many